Are we live streaming? Are we live streaming? Dun, da, da, da. Let me check that we're all on. It looks like it. Yes, we are here. Hi, everybody who is catching our live stream. I have got the comments open. This is the fabulous Eric, who is going to be my client today for this demonstration. So excited to have you here, Eric. Thanks so much for joining
Thanks.
me.
I'm pumped as well. Thanks so much for having me.
I'm
Well, I guess
pumped.
I won this, right?
Yeah,
I won this thing. So it's not like you're having me. I earned it.
you earned it. That's right. You earned it. Totally. Totally. So I'll just start with a couple of little pre-frames. So for anybody that doesn't know, pre-frames are just some kind of ideas that set the container of the session so that Eric and I know what we're doing, so that Eric can relax and kind of know where it's headed and give his consent to what's about to happen. So, hey Eric, would it be okay
Hello.
if we did a bit of pre-framing in the form that you filled out at the start, but just to kind of make it really clear as well, this is being live streamed into our super coach group for the purposes of a coaching demonstration. Are you okay if I occasionally pause to just let the group know what I'm doing, or kind of to unpack something if there's an important kind of key teaching moment? Is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. And just so you know, like, this session is primarily for you, right? The core purpose of the session is to support you and to demonstrate what it's like to just take a client through an open breakthrough coaching session. So over the course of this time together, I've put aside about an hour. Are you okay for that?
Yes.
Awesome. And I'll keep track of the time, so you don't need to worry about that. You can just relax and go into your process and just answer the questions as they come up. And if at any point, there's something that you feel like you don't really want to go into in a live streamed coaching session, you can just say give a give a overview, or to say, oh, that's, I'd prefer not to say, and we don't need to go into the details of the story. One of the beautiful things about both NLP and spiral clearing, or emotional clearing, which is, two of the kind of main modalities that we use, is that we don't need a lot of story and a lot of details. So we can really kind of work at the level of context rather than content. So we're looking for, what are the patterns that are going on here, and how can I support you to unwind any unresourceful patterns to get where you want to go? So is that okay?
Okay. Yeah, definitely.
Awesome. And if at any point we kind of go into a bit too much story, is it okay if I pause you to kind of just bring us back on track with where we're headed with the session? Is that okay?
For sure.
Awesome. All right. So teaching moment timeout here. So that's some pre-frames that just allow Eric to know what's going on, and that, I'm kind of going to lead the session, look after the time, that he doesn't need to share anything that feels too sensitive for him to share, and that we don't need to go into too much story. Asking your clients at the very start of your coaching sessions if you have permission to interrupt is a really great little frame to keep in mind, especially if you have clients that kind of tend to blurt out and kind of, just give all the story. So when we're working with context or patterns, then we're looking for, we only need as much story as necessary to find what pattern is underlying it, what beliefs, what interferences. And so as we're going, I'm going to be listening for, where is Eric now? Where does he want to be? What are the things that are in the way? And how can we help him to unleash resources to help him get where he wants to go? So back into the session, Eric. So let's just start with a bit of an outcome. So what's your intention for this session today? What would be an amazing outcome for you from today's session?
I think it's more around getting clarity on certain next steps. But it's also, around feeling worthy to take those steps. I feel like there's something that's holding me back from really letting myself step fully into this, that what I'm doing. And while I've gotten, you know, a couple clients, my clients are getting results. Like I think that what I'm doing is working.
Yeah.
But here recently, specifically, I've hit kind of a wall as far as, like, I'm not getting any new clients. I'm not, I'm kind of, I've reached this point of either I'm in burnout mode or I'm simply attracting. I'm just like, my energy's out there. I know what I have to offer. They can come to me. And because I feel like the burnout mode, I'm not happy with either. And so then it's like, or am I over here with energy just saying, you know, they'll come to me, but am I procrastinating for some reason? Like, is there something else deeper than that that I'm not able to see? And so I'm kind of teeter-tottering between just going all out or doing nothing. And so that clarity of something around there, and maybe it is, you know, self-worth related. I also feel like I have an issue right now where, because no new clients are coming in, I don't necessarily want to spend money. Well, I take that. I do want to spend money. I want to, like, maybe hire a VA or something. I want to help. I want to get some help, but without money coming in, I'm like, oh gosh, like, how am I going to do this? Like, I got to make sure money's coming in before I can actually go spend more.
Yeah.
And you know, and then maybe there's even more money beliefs behind those. Like, you know, I have no problem spending money, but for some reason my receiving money is, you know, it sputters here and there. It's like, it's not broken, but it doesn't always work the way I want it
to. Okay. It's not broken, but doesn't always work the way I want it to. Okay. Okay. So I'm just taking notes, typing, and I'm tracking for what's Eric's outcome, what are some of the interferences that are showing up, and where is he now, right? So, okay, so there's a few little things that are already showing up for me as potential interferences to kind of work with. But when you think about, I just like to get a really clear, you know, help you with that clarity on what your ultimate outcome is before we kind of unpack which pathway we could potentially go down, because there's kind of a self-worth, you know, track, or a, you know, procrastinating or burnout versus going all in, that kind of black and white thinking. So there's a black and white meta program there. And you know, being able to balancing receiving money and spending money as well. But before we go into any of that, just if you could just take a pause and think about, like, if you could wave a magic wand, Eric, to have your business and life any way you want it to be. If you could wave a magic wand, just allow yourself to go into your ultimate dream reality and just see what you see, hear what you hear, get those feelings of, like, ultimate success. Just allow yourself to drop right into it. Just tell me, what are some of those things that are present in your ultimate outcome?
The first thing that popped in was that I have a team beneath me.
A team beneath you working with you. Yeah. How many people are in the team that you can notice?
There's more than one, but I don't know exactly how many. There's a group of them.
More than one, there's a group. Okay. And how does it feel to have a group of people working with you, supporting you with your goal and your business?
It feels awesome because I can focus on what I do and they can handle what I don't like to do.
Yeah. They can handle what you don't like to do. Yeah. And what else is there in that ultimate ideal success reality? What's happening? What else? What do you see?
I'm just able to reach more guys and more guys who actually have, you know, this problem, and I'm able to help more guys. I feel like as I go through my day-to-day process right now, I'm like scraping the Facebook groups, and then ultimately the guys don't even have ED, And so it's like,
Yeah.
I feel like I'm just doing a lot of work with nothing, no results. But
Yeah.
I'd like to be able to reach more guys with the help of a team that actually have a problem that I can help them with.
Yeah. Reach more guys who have the problem and you're able to help them with. So how many guys are you there helping and serving? If you just get a sense of it or a feel for it, what kind
I
of
mean,
number
on my
comes
mission
to your
statement,
awareness?
I want to help. I want to help over 1 million men.
1 million
And
men.
I know that's pretty
Yeah.
huge, but I
I
believe
love a
that
big
it's
vision.
possible.
Yeah, it totally is. And so in
There's
this moment
80,
that you've gone to,
sorry,
go ahead.
go ahead. I was just gonna say there's 18 million men in the US alone who have this. And so if I could just help 1 million of them, that'd be
Oh
awesome.
my goodness. There's 18 million men in the US alone that have ED, which is your niche, right? For everyone following along. Okay. And so you help them to go from what to what, if you were to just kind of give a little bit of a summary there.
I help them, where they can't perform in the bedroom, and whether it's anxiety or actually like a physical. Well, the physical ailment is hard. It's more about the mental. It's about the mental. It's tough on the spot right here. Like I just help them become more of what they want to become in the bedroom, so they can connect with their partners and actually have a fulfilling, intimate life.
Yeah. Nice.
And all without pills, pumps, surgeries,
Yeah.
or any kind of supplementation that's not necessary.
Yeah, it's not necessary. So you help these men who currently can't perform in the bedroom to become more of who they are and what they want to become, so they can have a fulfilling, intimate life and connection with their partner.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing. And so when you think about this ideal moment where you're helping these men, you have this team supporting you, tell me a little bit more about what's happening in your life when you're helping in this way. What's happening for you?
I'm still doing one-on-one coaching. I love being on the journey of each guy's path and helping them from week 1 through week 12 and seeing how they grow and develop. I've really that's one of my favorite parts. But I've also at that point have created an online course for kind of a more self-paced group of guys who want to go through it on their own.
Yeah.
That I feel confident would actually help them if they were to follow everything. They could actually get all the results that they're looking for just by going through the course.
I love that.
I feel like money is no longer an issue. Like not even a thought process anymore. It's just like I have enough.
Yeah, I have enough. And if you were to just kind of drill into a little bit more clarity on that, what kind of number comes to mind that's enough, so much that you like it's no longer even an issue for you? What specifically would that be?
I like 6 figures per month, like 100,000 a month.
Yeah, 6 figures per month. Perfect. And so feel into that experience of making $100,000 per month, helping all of these men to become who they want to be, to have fulfilling, intimate relationships. Notice the fulfillment that you have in that moment of being this leader, coach, guide that's helping them. And you have your own team supporting you. What else is important to notice or get clarity on about this ultimate ideal outcome?
I could, like quote unquote, I could retire my fiance from her job, and so we could just have an amazing life together where, I work because I want to, but none of us work because we need to.
Yeah.
And she could do the things that she's passionate about.
How does that feel to be able to offer her that opportunity of being able to just work and do the things that she wants to do, not what she needs to do?
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Because we're hoping to start a family in the future. And so her not working so hard would be awesome.
Yeah. And so in this ideal outcome, tell me more about that in your family life. What's different there when you're earning $100,000 a year, you help a month, and helping these beautiful men to find confidence? What else is happening?
Like being able to pay for my family to visit us here in Bali.
Yeah.
And just have people experience the lifestyle that we've learned to love over here. And also travel more ourselves.
Yeah.
Like being that I do everything that I do is online, so I can still travel and work from anywhere in the world.
Incredible.
And so if I had the money to travel more, we would, and enjoy the world, enjoy experiences, adventures, the cultures, the food.
Amazing.
And all still while helping guys reverse 3D.
Uh-huh. How does that feel?
It's amazing.
To be able to travel and help people and live an amazing life yourself, bring your parents over, look after your family, and still be making such a huge difference in the world. What does that mean to you, Eric?
It means everything.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. And so when you have that clear vision in your mind of where you're headed, making $100,000 a month or more, helping these men with your one-on-one coaching and your group program, being able to look after your partner while she starts your family, the family that you start together, being able to travel and still help people to help men to reverse the AD. Notice how important this is to you. How important is it to create this on a scale of 0 to 10?
10.
10. Yeah. Okay. And so when you think about that and you're just sitting in this beautiful state, so notice, you guys, how I'm feeding back and just feeding back Eric's words to him to help him amplify this state, this positive state of having achieved his outcome. Okay, so from this state of just notice how empowered you are in this state, Eric. Notice the type of man that you are in this reality. Notice how you're showing up. And so, what's within your control when you come back to now, holding on to that feeling? What's within your control that you can do to create this? What's within your control that you can do to create this?
I could earnestly look into different VAs and see who would resonate with me and the tasks they do and what I need.
Yeah. Yeah. So getting some support is important now. Yeah. Okay. And is there anything stopping you from taking this next step or moving into this, getting this support that you require?
Initially, no. It's eventually there will be a point where I run out of money if I hire more people without making anything.
Yeah. Yeah. So cash flow is important. Yeah. You don't want to hire people and then run out of money, for sure. Okay. And so are there resources that you have to be able to overcome these challenges? to overcome these cash flow challenges or bringing in money challenges?
I mean, if I wanted to, grind again and go back into groups and hopefully maybe get a client, I mean, getting one more client would set me up for another few more months.
Yeah. Uh-huh. So you only need a couple of clients to be able to have that cash flow to continue to move forward. So I'm hearing you say, like, I saw your face kind of scrunch up when you said, oh, I could grind. So can I point out what might be an interference here that could be stopping you? Yeah.
Sure.
So what I'm hearing, you guys, is this interference in Eric's consciousness that kind of splits him between the, like, he was using these hand movements of like between like push and what did you say? I've got it here. Burnout mode. I can be like burnout mode and go all out and grind, or I can be kind of attracting clients and kind of procrastinating around these things. So I'm hearing, Eric, this kind of dichotomy between grind, push, go into groups, and maybe burn out versus attracting clients. Can you tell me a little bit more about how that's playing out in your life when you have this kind of dichotomy between grind and what's the other thing that you would call, like, what would be the opposite of grind?
Attraction.
Attraction. So between grind and attraction.
It's like, I guess I've always been kind of taught working hard is how you do things. And so I consider myself a hard worker. When I have a task I know I need to do, like, I can push through and I can do it. I can accomplish it. Yeah. But now, because of the results I've been getting, or the lack of results, I'm questioning myself if what I'm grinding for, if I'm working hard for, is even the thing I should be expending my energy on. And so I have this question mark, is like, yeah, I'm going 100 miles an hour, but am I going in the right direction? And so then I say, well, let's just stop and just evaluate where we are. And while I'm stopping, nothing's happening.
Okay.
It's like none of the work that I did in the past of grinding is like, none of the guys are, it's like, oh, you know what? I actually do have a problem that you can help me with. And
okay.
So somewhere down there, I believe there could be some internal conflicts of, like, not feeling worthy for new clients, not feeling ready. So as I try to attract them, something's happening.
Yeah, you try to attract them. So would that be a worthy outcome of this session, to unpack some of those interferences that might be happening inside you that's stopping you from feeling worthy of attracting those new clients?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So we know the ultimate outcome of your kind of ultimate coaching business dream. And so if we were able to shift some of those interferences today, would that be valuable for you?
Yes.
Yeah. Awesome. So just pausing here, you guys, what I've done in this first section is get really clear and help Eric really hone in on what his ultimate outcome is. And then now I'm just recalibrating, because obviously in one session, we can't help him get to his ultimate outcome, because that requires time and actions and a whole bunch of other things to happen. But what we can do is support him in feeling worthy to shift this kind of cash flow block that he's got going on. So, Eric, when you think about this session and what would be an ultimate outcome for this session, you said, I'm not feeling worthy for new clients, and have this kind of grind versus attraction kind of polarity that's playing out, or swing between this pendulum of one or the other. Would that be worthwhile working on?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And so let's just get a little measure here. When you think about how worthy you are of attracting and receiving new clients and new money coming in, if you were to just like pull out of the top of your head on a scale of 0 to 10, how worthy you currently feel of attracting and receiving new clients, what number would you give?
It's crazy because I feel like I've worked on this before, like a lot in my past,
Uh-huh.
but there's still some blocks. And
That's
so if I
okay.
would be honest,
Yeah.
I would say probably like a 3 or a 4.
Okay. A 3 or a 4. Okay. And so would it be okay if we focused our attention around this to really support you in feeling worthy and moving forward to be able to attract clients with more ease and a little bit less grind?
For sure.
Awesome. Awesome. So what I've done, you guys, is just calibrate the outcome of the session so that Eric has a clear outcome. You can open your eyes, Eric, if you'd like to. So that Eric has a clear, tangible outcome of what we're moving towards in this session and where he's at now. So if we were able to get this up more, so you felt more worthy of attracting new clients by the end of our hour together, would that be valuable for you?
Yes, absolutely.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay. So I've just checked in a couple of times to check that this is really what he wants to work on. And so the first half of a coaching session is almost like an information gathering stage to get clear on where your client is, where they want to be ultimately, and what's in the way. And then the session outcome becomes dealing with one of the things that are in the way. Okay. So I've heard a couple of different interferences, Eric, and I'd love to just support you. Do you mind if I just open up the toolkit and use whatever tools we got available?
For sure.
Okay. All right. So let's start with a couple of muscle testing kind of statement clears to support you using spiral clearing. And so do I have
you see my shirt?
Yeah, I see it. Oh my God. I didn't even notice until you pointed it out. Wow, so cool. So do I have your consent to tune into your energy field and muscle test with you?
Yes.
Awesome. All right. So muscle testing with Eric. And so just bringing his attention to like, yes, we've got the hold. Okay. So Eric, would you be able to say, I'm okay with feeling worthy? I'm okay with feeling worthy.
I'm okay with feeling worthy.
Yeah, that's not okay in your nervous system. It's not reading as true right now. So let's just find out what's in the way here. So water, wood, fire, circulation, lust, creativity, receptivity, stubbornness, arousal. Okay. Not enough. That's interesting. Okay. So not enough arousal with feeling worthy. Just notice what that brings up. Money, self, other to self. Okay, so underneath your rib cage here is the pressure point. So notice how your sense of worthiness is connected to other people's arousal in relation to you, like how passionate they are or how they respond to you. That's what it's reading, that there's not enough arousal from others. And that doesn't necessarily mean sexual arousal. It could just be passion or interest or enthusiasm. So right now, there's a connection between how worthy you feel and how others respond to you.
Yeah.
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 And
That's everything right now.
That's everything. Yeah. And you mentioned like grinding in these groups and kind of not getting anything back. I could see how that would be a bit demoralizing. So what that shows me, you guys watching along, is that Eric has an internal meta program that has an external reference of his own kind of worthiness. And where that it can be useful to check in with an external reference, but we want to also shift and expand. So Eric knows that he's worthy regardless, right? Regardless of how someone responds to him, we want Eric to be able to feel worthy of who he is and what he's got to offer, regardless of if someone takes up his offer or not. So Eric, would it be all right if we started to detach your perception, your self-perception of worthiness from how other people respond to you in the marketplace? Would that be okay?
Yes.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. So you can stay steady and strong in your worthiness regardless of what happens and regardless if someone takes you up on your offer or not. All right. So let's test that again and just see how it feels. So I'm okay with feeling worthy.
I'm okay with feeling worthy.
Yeah, that's holding stronger. And notice how that feels to say it.
Mm.
Oh, I'm
Feels
okay. Yeah, feels good. And notice how it feels as well, because we want to check the opposite side as well. We want to check if there are any kind of interferences or emotions around not feeling worthy. So I'm okay with not feeling worthy.
I'm okay with not feeling worthy.
So that's not okay either, which kind of keeps us trapped in a bit of a catch-22, like, oh, I can't go over here, I can't go over there either. So what's in the way here? So water, wood, fire, earth, spleen, low self-esteem. Okay, so of course, right? When we're low self-esteem, that can really get in the way. So just take your right hand to your left
That's my
side.
right.
Yeah, your right hand to your left side, the down between your two lowest ribs. That's the point for your earth, spleen, stomach, meridian point. Just take a deep breath and just notice any low self-esteem. We might be blocking this now. Just taking a deep breath and just loosening that up there. Yeah. Good job. Just letting your nervous system relax around this, almost like a pebble in a stream. It's like you don't need the pebble to move. You can just relax around it and be smooth around it. So what I'm doing there, you guys, is just offering some little metaphors or reframes to support Eric's nervous system to just relax. Oftentimes, the more we resist a particular feeling or obstacle, the more that becomes a big issue. Whereas if we can just kind of relax and accept it, then often that will start to melt the problem away, from the inside. So let's try that again. I'm okay with not feeling worthy.
I'm okay with not feeling worthy.
Yeah, there we go. All right. So now let's do a couple of statements around some of those words that you said in our kind of discovery. So you mentioned grind and attraction. So and those kind of being opposites. So what I'd love to take you through here is a quadrant clear, which is kind of like a fast parts integration for those of us who are NLP trained. There's a couple of different ways we can alleviate internal conflict. So Eric's got an internal conflict between grinding and attraction. And ultimately, we want to be able to support Eric to be okay with both sides and for it not to be such an on-off pendulum between the two. So let's start with this one. I'm okay with grinding and not attracting in relation to my business, right? I'm
You want me
okay
to
with
repeat that?
Yeah, I'm okay with grinding and not attracting.
I'm okay with grinding and not attracting.
Yeah, that's not okay. So let's see what's there. Water, bladder, kidney, fear, dread. Oh, I can kind of feel the heaviness of it. Notice how that feels when you say it. So just up here is the kidney point for dread. Just notice any dread around grinding. Softening. Cool. Awesome. Yeah. I'm okay with grinding and not attracting.
I'm okay with grinding and not attracting.
Yeah. And you mentioned before that, being a hard worker is a really important part of your kind of values and how you've identified yourself in the past as well. So we'll check back in with that, but just noticing how that feels like, oh, I'm okay with grinding and not attracting. You're okay with doing the hard work when it's required. Hey. So that's okay. So now let's test the opposite side of the spectrum, attracting and not grinding. So I'm okay with attracting and not grinding.
I'm okay with attracting and not grinding.
Yeah, so that's not okay either. Okay, so water, give me fear, dread. Ah, there's some more dread here. Okay, so if you're attracting and not grinding, notice what might be there and how that relates to you. What does this bring?
I'm not okay with letting go.
Uh-huh.
I have to keep working hard.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so notice how you could choose to let go or hang on to the idea of letting go or hanging on. Sometimes it's hard to hold on to the idea of not wanting to let go when it's easier to just let go. And sometimes you let go of the things that actually make it hard, and then it's difficult to let go. I wonder if you could let it all go and just see what happens. So what I did there, you guys, is using some hypnotic induction to just create confusion in his unconscious mind by mixing up the letting go and holding on. So I'm using emotional clearing here for to clear the dread. We're doing a quadrant clear. And to support the integration of the quadrant clear, I'm using hypnotic language to help Eric just kind of muddle up holding on or letting go so that his unconscious mind becomes confused and just lets go. Okay, so let's say that again, Eric. I'm okay with attracting and not grinding.
I'm okay with attracting and not grinding.
Yeah. Woohoo. Notice how that feels to be magnetic and have clients come to you. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. What do you relate that to when it kind of comes to dating? Because I know you work in relationships and dating. How would this relate to what you teach with your men?
Kind of just not being too desperate for an outcome.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh-huh. And when they're not too desperate for the outcome, what's the opposite of that?
Relaxed or calm.
Relaxed, calm.
Like a calm confidence.
A relaxed, calm confidence. Uh-huh. So I'm just utilizing now, asking him some questions to support him relating what we're working through here with what he teaches his clients so that he can be in even more full integrity with how he's showing up. And so that can ripple out through his work. So, okay, so we've done 2 parts of this quadrant clear. So I'm okay now, Eric. Notice like what else you can do other than grinding and attracting. Like there's so many other things you could possibly do. So what about I'm okay with neither grinding nor attracting?
I'm okay with neither grinding or attracting.
Yeah, that's okay. And now to like be able to stand with one foot in each corner and just be in your full self. I'm okay with grinding and attracting.
I'm okay with grinding and attracting.
Notice how that feels when you notice that sometimes you can work hard and sometimes you can just have people come to you. Sometimes you can show up and do the work. And sometimes it just comes so easy just by being yourself. That's it. Okay, so what I'm supporting here is just him to integrate into the balance of these two so that he's not feeling like they're an either or, that you could be doing hard work, Eric, and be attracting people to come to you at the same time. Right? And have there been times where you've created something and you've worked to create it, and then later on, when you're not doing anything at all, that thing that you worked to create earlier is now bringing you clients or bringing you interest, and you're not doing anything because you already did the work?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just kind of asking some questions to loosen up his thinking about hard work and attraction so that there's more balance in how he's kind of thinking about it. Okay. So you mentioned before this kind of ideal state of relaxed, calm confidence. Yeah. Okay. So when you think about your relaxed, calm confidence, how worthy does that relaxed, calm confidence feel? When you're in your relaxed, calm confidence, what kind of worthiness would that be?
Like a 9.5 or 10.
Yeah, like a 10 out of 10. Okay. And so now I'm just feeling the energy to go down a path around this hard worker, because the hard work and the worthiness feels connected here. And I have a suspicion that Eric might have a belief that he's only worthy if he works hard. But I just want to check in with him and ask him a question to see, what, if that's true or if it's not. So Eric, when you think about being worthy, what is it that makes someone worthy?
It's a good question.
Is there anything that someone has to do to be worthy? Or
I mean, not really. Yeah, like they should just be able to be who they are.
Right. They should just be able to be who they are. Huh. And are you just being who you are?
I'm trying.
Yeah. Could you ever not be who you are?
No.
Uh-huh. So if you're just showing up, being who you are, isn't that worthy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just notice that. And so Eric's gone internal to fully integrate that realization that he's actually worthy right now. So I'm just going to support that by amplifying that state. So Eric, just allow yourself to go within and feel how worthy you really are. Just feel that worthiness of showing up in your full self, relaxed and calm, confident. Just notice where inside you have that awareness of worthiness.
My heart.
That's it. And notice that place in your heart where you have that worthiness. And if you were to allow and give yourself permission for that worthiness to expand, could you do that just right now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Just allow yourself to do that. If you were to feel the color of worthiness, what color would it be?
I see like a yellow, like a more gold than yellow.
Golden yellow. Yeah, more gold. So notice that golden worthiness in your heart. Is it a shape or a shine, or if you were to
More like
describe
a
it,
glow,
a
like a
glow?
golden glow.
Yeah. So just tune into and imagine with your inner eyes seeing that golden glow. And if you were to imagine allowing that glow to expand even more, could you expand it to fill up your whole body?
Mm-hmm.
And could you expand it to fill up the whole room that you're in?
Yeah.
And could you expand it to fill up the whole city? And just imagine the glow from your heart expanding out. And as it does, everybody it touches, supporting them to remember and awaken into their worthiness as well. So the more that you shine and remember your worthiness, the more it supports others to remember theirs too. Could you allow it to expand across the whole city?
Mm-hmm.
That's it. And could you allow it to expand across the whole country, across all of the island that you're on right now? And expand out across the ocean to the other islands. And out across the ocean again to the other continents, all across the Southern Hemisphere. Could you imagine allowing that glow from your heart to expand all the way across the globe to where your parents are right now? Could you allow that glow to expand to all of the countries you want to visit and travel to, so that the glow of your heart can experience the smells and tastes and cultures even before you get there? Could you allow the glow from your heart to light up the entire world? Noticing your heart and the glow from your heart expanding out across the whole world. Notice as it does that it's touching and connecting with and radiating towards all of the men that could use your support and help, reminding them of their worthiness too, giving them the gift of your teaching even before you meet them. As you allow this glow to expand out across the whole world to every one of those 18 million men in the US that suffer from ED and all of the other millions across the world. And give them the gift of this glow. And if this glow had something to whisper in their ear, What would you want to whisper in their ear to remind them? Just trusting your unconscious and your higher self.
They don't have to suffer anymore.
They don't have to suffer anymore. They don't have to suffer. They can live in this place of relaxed, calm confidence. And you can too. You can too. You don't have to suffer in your business anymore. In just the same way that you were able to turn around your own personal relationship to become this coach. You can trust and map across the resources from turning around your own ED to become this powerful coach to support you to become an even more powerful and successful, wealthy coach that is making a difference, receiving that 6 figures per month, growing your family, supporting your partner, being able to travel and make a difference in the world. That's it. And if you were to check in, is there any part of your consciousness that is not 100% aligned to allowing this to unfold so you can bring your greatest service to the world? Is there any part of you that's not fully aligned to this?
No, I feel great.
I feel great. Awesome. So I just love to drop this through with a simple manifestation clearing to support this on every single level of your being. So just notice, Eric, while you're in this state, what's the purpose of allowing your service to reach the world and to find the men that you are the perfect person to support them in unleashing their power and finding that confidence themselves? What's the purpose of you living that?
My purpose is to let men know that there's more than just pharmaceuticals out there that won't help them. Like there's actually a solution to it.
Yeah.
But nobody knows that. Nobody's actually heard those words or they don't believe it.
Yeah.
But it's real.
It's real. And you know it because you've done it. You've walked that path. You've helped others. So feel that purpose that you want to let these men know that there's a solution. There's more than drugs out there that's going to help them find this natural solution. Notice that purpose and what that means to you in your life. That's it. And so you're fully clear at the purpose level to allow this to call into your being. So noticing your vision. What do you see now that allows you to make this a reality? What vision is coming to life for you that will allow you to make this a reality? What do you see?
I can see my team helping me to create just different content than what I'm creating, like more content that will resonate with more people, that I can boost posts and I can just get it out there.
Yeah. I love that. So you've got the team helping you, some different content that's going to really land.
I will figure out these ads.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just a few little tweaks. We'll figure out the ads. Yeah. So giving is good. Receiving is like a little bit, 10, 20, 30%. Let's see what's in the way there. Water, bladder, kidney, fear, dread. Okay, so just notice any dread that's in the way just underneath your collarbones. Notice any dread that's in the way of you fully receiving that support and being seen in that way, Eric. right? If you could turn on those ads right now and allow them to just magically work, and allow yourself to be seen in this whole new way by this bigger audience, are you fully open to receiving that, to being seen?
Yeah.
Yeah. Giving and receiving is now good. Yeah. You can rest your hands. So noticing now as it moves down through your throat, what do you hear yourself saying?
Mm. I just hear me saying that this is the way. Like, follow me.
This is the way. Yeah, this is the way. Follow me. And notice, you guys, how he just like softened and relaxed. That's perfect. So giving and receiving at 5 is good. Allowing this energy now to move down into your heart, Eric. And notice what support you are now open to receiving. Giving and receiving. Notice the support that you're open to receiving. Notice the clients that you're open to receiving. And the income, cash flow that you're open to receiving. So giving is good. Receiving is a little bit out order. What's there? 10, 20, 30%. Kidney, fear, dread. Again, a little bit of dread. Sometimes we can want something consciously, but unconsciously it's like, oh, I don't know. So just allowing yourself to relax into this expansion. That's it. Good job. 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. That's good. And noticing the wealth that you're open to receiving. Now imagine that heart is just shining, that golden light, open at the front and also open to receiving at the back. So you can just lean back and receive the support of your team, your business, your clients, so that your business can support you as much as you support your clients. And you can build the structures and support and networks that are going to allow you to be in your fullest, most relaxed, confident self. Good. Notice as you open to this, level 4 is clear, moving down into level 3, your solar plexus. Noticing what are the milestones and goals along the way that will allow you to know that this is working, that this is happening, you're on the track to this.
I want to have a full client load of 12 clients.
Yeah, 12.
I just feel that I couldn't take more if I wanted to, so I would start a waiting list.
Oh, waiting list. Nice. So full client load of private clients and start a waiting list. Awesome. So giving is good. Receiving is a little bit out. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50%. What's there? Water. Paranoia. Huh. Just underneath the collarbones again, and notice if you were too much, not enough. So what I'm reading is that there would be not enough paranoia in the situation if you had this full client load. Notice where some part of you might be connected to or hooked into that feeling of like, oh, a little bit of just being used to operating in this way. Notice what it would be like to just fully allow yourself to soften into this abundance, how it would feel to have this full client load and a waiting list. You wouldn't be worried or concerned. Your nervous system could fully relax. You could bring through your gifts to help these men. Oh. That's it. Giving and receiving, notice that. And now as it moves down into your pelvis, into your awareness of give and receive, of fair exchange, your emotional watery center, notice just how do you feel about this? How do you feel about calling this into reality?
It feels really good.
Feels really good. Giving and receiving, that feels good. You're 100% clear at this level. And so moving down into the final steps, down your tailbone, legs, and meeting the ground. What's the next action step to take from this point forward? It's the very next action step.
It's got to be getting a team beneath me.
Yeah. Getting a team. And what's the very first step in that team? Just trusting your unconscious. What comes to mind?
I mean, it's something. It was revolving around social media.
Yeah.
I still enjoy creating my posts. Like I don't want necessarily. I don't want like a copywriter to write my post for me.
No.
But maybe somebody to just manage it a little bit more and maybe create, intermittent posts. So between my longer posts, they can just create something to keep me more regular in people's minds.
Nice. So a VA or an assistant you mentioned before. Yeah, finding someone that could support you with social media and support you with some of those admin tasks to free you up. And how does that feel as you land on that?
It feels
connection. Good. Yeah. Amazing. And just hiring someone, maybe just for a few hours a week. It doesn't need to be a huge investment, but can free up a lot of time and mental space and energy to give you that support you need. So what I'm doing here, guys, is just reaffirming his choice and giving support around the ecology of this choice. So is this, making this choice and hiring this, assistant to support you with your social media, is this a really good choice for you, Eric, and ecological for you in your life and your business right now?
Yes.
Awesome. Nice. And so will you do this?
Yes.
Yeah. Awesome. Amazing. And so just allowing that all to land and imagining this pillar of light calling through as you call in your fully successful, empowered, relaxed, confident, calm, worthy self that is living as this empowered, successful coach, shining your golden heart of worthiness out to these men to do a little bit of hard work when it's required and just attract those men, those 12 private clients. That's it. Allowing you to grow and grow and grow your course and your teachings and your work, your body of work to support the world. So you can support these million men and fulfill your goal and your purpose in life. Notice how it feels to call in your higher self, your soul that's offered you this vision of supporting a million men. And notice how that Eric shows up to life, how that Eric shows up to deal with obstacles or challenges that might get in the way. That's it. And notice how, as you show up in this way, you become the message. You become the message that you're teaching these men of how to show up to life. That's right. So noticing this pillar now grounding into the earth, imagining this energy too dropping all the way down into the center of the earth, where we're all connected at the core of the earth, and sending a blessing of love into the earth, connecting also with all of your future clients. In this way, imagine sending a little beam of love down through the earth where we're all connected into these million men that you want to connect with. That's it. So that when they come across your post or your ad or anything else they see of you out in the world, they'll know, ooh, I need to go further with this. You can attract them right now. That's it. Notice how it feels to be relaxed and attracting your clients at the same time. And just allow all of those threads now to come to a close. That's it, wrapping them up, bringing all those resources in and all of the learnings, conscious and unconscious from this session. I'm just checking in, utilizing the closing convincer questions from Spiral Clearing. So does Eric have everything he needs to let go of what's already gone? Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Does Eric have everything he needs to integrate a new level of receptivity to call in clients and money into his life and his business easily and effortlessly? Yeah. And do we have energetic permission for Eric to experience an undeniable, positive, and miraculous change of everything we've just initiated, both consciously and unconsciously, starting from right now? Yeah. So bringing through that integration now, spiritually integrated, energetically integrated, mentally integrated, emotionally integrated, and physically integrated. Just imagine all of the threads now coming to a close, allowing yourself to settle. And notice now what you've realized that will allow you to go out into the world to become that successful coach that is in your vision, and how in many ways that you already are that, and you already are on that path now. That's it. Good job. So while Eric's just landing and coming back, what I did there was utilized a combination of a simple manifestation clear that we use in Spiral Clearing and some hypnotic language to support him in the realization of how much he already is what he's wanting to become, right? How it's just an expansion of what he's already doing. So, and I was just feeding back, you might notice for those who are listening along, you might notice that throughout that process, I was feeding back Eric's precise language back to him, feeding back in that hypnosis when we were expanding the golden light. I was feeding back specific words and things that he'd mentioned earlier on in the session as well, just to really support, to support that integration. Hey, Eric, how you doing?
I'm doing awesome.
You're doing awesome. When you think back to, when you kind of think into your worthiness now and feel into that place in your heart, how worthy does that feel now on a scale of 0 to 10?
10.
10.
It's funny because, as I talk about wanting to travel and and do what I do for work on the road, I currently live in Bali, and I'm actually doing what I do from the road, and
Oh
it's
my
just
God.
light bulb went off.
Ah, you're already living it, right? This is not your
Hmm.
hometown that you were born in. You're already traveling and doing this. Oh, and what happened when that light bulb went off?
Um, just another sense of feeling worthy, like knowing that I'm already here, I'm already doing it, like I'm already,
Yeah,
like exactly what we fit the final phrase, like I'm already here doing it, like that's already what I'm doing.
that's it. You're already doing it. So it's just an expansion of what you're already doing. Ah, good job. Good job, my friend. Thank you for coming on this
Thanks.
journey.
Thank you. That was
What an
awesome.
absolute pleasure. What an absolute pleasure. And when you think about now going out into the future and what you're going to get to do this afternoon or tomorrow as you go out into your future, what gets to be different now?
I think that
What
just how
gets
I
to,
approach things energetically,
yeah,
and I know that the actions that I'll be taking are just going to be more aligned, and like
yeah,
even if don't get the exact results I want initially, like it's that step that I take that can take me to the next step, that takes me to the next step. So if as long as I keep on taking the steps, I'll get to
right.
where I want to go. And so
Exactly.
without being too scared to take the first step, or what if I hire a VA and it's not the right one, or something like that, like no, that'll take me to the next one and the next one.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yay. Yay. I'm so happy. So, what we just did there was a future pacing question from NLP to support Eric in realizing, like, a lot of times this coaching work can feel a little bit intangible. It's like, what are we even doing? Is this even going to change anything? Is this even going to change anything? So asking a future pacing question, like what gets to be different now out in the world, helps solidify, oh, we've made a change and I'm going to be different now. I'm going to approach things differently. And I love, Eric, what you said, that now it's just like, it doesn't really matter what the result is from the first action. It's just going to take me to the next step and the next step. So
mhm.
yes, I'm so excited for you. This is going to be awesome. Yay.
Thanks.
So thank you for being my coaching demonstration. We've gone a tiny bit over time. I'm sorry about that.
It's okay.
Um, I figured you would be okay, but normally I would check in at that 1 hour mark and go, hey, are you okay to keep going? Um, but thank you so much for being my demonstration friend and client. And I appreciate you. And I'm so excited for what gets to happen from here. So keep us updated on
Okay.
what shifts, right? What shifts as a result of this. I'm really excited to see what might happen. And very, yeah, very excited for what gets to happen as you attract in those new clients. So thanks so much. For those
Awesome.
of you guys who are watching live, you're welcome to, if you have any specific questions or wanted to drop in something, I'm happy to stay on for like 5 minutes or so and just answer any questions if you've got any specific questions about how I did this. Eric, you're welcome to stay online and just hang out with me, or if you need to jump off, you're welcome to do that too, and I'll just answer
I'll hang
some
out for a little bit.
questions. Okay, cool. All right, team, have you got any questions? Let me know if you've got any questions about how we did this, what happened. So if I'm just to kind of recap the whole session, what we did kind of in big chunks is like the first half of the session was that exploration, discovery questions. And what I used for that were the NLP well-formed outcome questions. I didn't use every single one of the like 15 kind of sequence of questions, but I kind of wove them through the session. But once I figured out what Eric's core outcome was and what some of the interferences were, we recalibrated the session to check in on, oh, okay, this is what we're going to work on in this session. So there's a clear outcome for that session. I see a lot of coaches sometimes get a little bit muddled of like, oh, I don't know what we're doing. And it's almost like you open a can of worms and you don't know which one to deal with. So we want to get really clear on what the client's ultimate outcome is, what's a key interference that's in the way of that outcome, and then utilizing and recalibrating like, hey, in this session, if we worked on this, would that be valuable to you? And getting the client to explicitly say, yeah, that would be valuable. Then yes, this is what we're working on in this session. So that was the first half of the session. And then we kind of pivoted and I checked for consent to utilize muscle testing with Eric to do some statement clears and to work through that conflict between grinding and attracting. And so if you're NLP trained, you could also use a parts integration here, or you could use some reframe questions or a timeline therapy process in that place. You could have used a number of different processes to shift that belief. Like we could have done a limiting belief clear on I must work hard. We could have done clearing around grinding, like grinding versus attracting. And so there's a couple of different processes that we could have used. I decided to go with the muscle testing just to give you guys an example of how this like NLP and spiral can weave together in a kind of super coaching session. And then at one point I utilized this state induction of the golden feeling of worthiness to support the amplification of Eric's worthiness. And as it was amplifying out across the whole planet, I dropped in a few little words from, to his parents overseas that he had mentioned, and traveling to other places and other cultures, and just kind of expanding that awareness using the words that he had brought into the session. And so when we do that, it really allows the client to feel fully heard, and it allows them to go, oh, wow, like, oh my goodness, it's almost like you're in my head with me. And so that allows it to kind of become even more potent. And then we went through and I just kind of dropped through a manifestation clear quickly of the kind of ideal outcome. And so then as we wrapped it up, we used the convincer close questions. And then I used a future pacing question from NLP to support Eric in just figuring out, oh, how's life going to be different now? So that's what we did. It doesn't look like we have any specific questions. Let me just check. Oh no, hang on. There might be one here. Oh, there we go. Let me double check. No, it looks like we're good. Thank you guys for tuning in and catching this demonstration session. If you have more questions as you catch the replay or unpack, just drop them in the comments. I'll be happy to answer them after we drop off this call. And thank you so much for being a part of it. I think we might do some more of these. If you want to see more coaching demonstration sessions, let me know in the comments below and we will line that up for you. Thank you, Eric, for being vulnerable and joining me on this journey of coaching experience. Appreciate you. And I'll see you soon, everybody. Thanks so much.
See you
guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.